What?
Can I take your details?
Am I obliged to?
Well, obviously with the current climate and you're acting a bit strangely filming the police station.
No, I just told you what I'm doing. Photography's not a crime. I'm sat here, I'm waiting to get some pictures of a police car going in and out of the police station to finish off a story that I've been working on.
Yeah, which...
So I'm not obliged to give you my details because I haven't broken any laws.
Do you mind not putting that in my face?
Well, it's not in your face and you came up to me, so...
Yeah, because you're filming the police station.
Well, that's not against the law though, is it?
No, but it's suspicious, strange
behaviour. It is quite suspicious.
No, I don't think it is. And terrorism or current climate has nothing to do with it. Terrorism in Waterlooville, I don't think so.
It can happen anywhere, and it will cause us concern that you're sat here constantly filming a police station.
Well, why are you saying constantly?
Because
I've been sat here for 20 minutes waiting for a car to come round the corner to go into the police station, which is what I wanted to capture.
Which we did.
Yeah.
So once that happened, I'd expect you to stop.
Yeah, you continued to film.
Because you got what you wanted.
Yeah.
And left. If that was
because you got out of the car and then you started walking over here.
The camera is already rolling when the tension begins. A man sits quietly outside a police station, not hiding, not running, just filming, but within moments suspicion replaces curiosity, and questions come fast without any real attempt to understand. Simply holding a camera becomes enough to draw attention. He explains himself clearly. Photography in public isn't a crime, no laws broken, no boundaries crossed, just patience while waiting for the right shot. But the tone quickly shifts and words like suspicious and terrorism enter the conversation, not based on actions, but on assumptions. The request for personal details comes early, almost automatic, as if the outcome was already decided. And that's where the real issue begins, when feeling replaces fact and opinion starts to sound like law, because in the end what matters isn't suspicion, it's proof.
You just turned yours on.
Mine's on already.
Alright, well that's fine. Well, that's fine. You're recording me and I'm recording you. But I'm not obliged to give you my details because I haven't broken any laws. Okay? And being suspicious is not a crime either.
You can appreciate though, given the current climate and terrorism being an issue, you are sat here.
There's no terrorism in Waterlooville. Yeah. Oh, and understand why you come over to speak to me, but coming over and like, oh, we'll get your details, blah blah blah, I'm not obliged to do that.
Obviously, I'm engaging in a conversation with you.
Yeah. And I told you what I was.
I'm PC Morris.
I told you what I was doing.
Waterlooville Police Station. All I asked was for your details. And you could introduce yourself.
I explained to you what I was doing.
And I understand that. All I asked was for your details, for your name.
Yeah, no, you don't need my name.
No?
No, because you stick it in your computer and it stays there forever.
It's not that. It was honestly from me to engage in a conversation with you. Appreciate it.
I've just spoken to my sergeant as well.
Yeah.
Under the Terrorism Act, with the climate is severe and the way you're acting, I will need your details.
The situation takes a sharp turn as the reasoning begins to stretch far beyond what's actually happening, turning a simple act of filming into something far more serious without clear justification. Instead of grounding their actions in solid facts, the officers begin leaning on escalation, suggesting that refusing to provide details somehow becomes an offense in itself. But that logic doesn't hold, because a refusal doesn't create a legal reason. It has to exist first, as the pressure builds. Threats of arrest and even seizing recording equipment enter the scene, not backed by clear authority, but by frustration in the moment. The focus shifts away from any real wrongdoing and toward gathering information, as if the goal is to justify the encounter after it has already begun. Even when the man presents written law and calmly explains his position, the response doesn't reset the situation. Instead, it drifts further into assumption. Claims about public space blur the facts, and when an officer dismisses the need to clearly explain the law, it reveals a deeper issue where authority replaces understanding. In the end, the interaction becomes less about enforcing rules and more about defending decisions, turning a straightforward situation into unnecessary conflict.
So please provide me
I'm not obliged to give you my details because I haven't broken the law.
Recording equipment if you are filming the police station under the current climate severe. Okay.
It is
that's not. No, it's not. That's
anyone watching your videos.
You can't seize my equipment.
Anyone watching your videos that you are currently, say, you're live streaming.
Yeah.
Will probably agree that under terrorism at the moment, with the risk as it is.
Now this is live streaming because if you take my phone, it's not on my phone.
I'm explaining to you. Yeah, I'm explaining to you the reasons why I'm speaking to you, and all I am requesting for is your details. I'm not going to.
I'm not obliged to give. I've not broken no
If
laws.
you don't give us your details, it gives us grounds to arrest. It's
No,
necessity
no, it's
to
not.
arrest
No, it's
you.
not. That's unlawful arrest.
Failure to give
No,
name
that
and
is
address.
unlawful arrest.
Failure to give a name
I've not
and
broken
address.
no laws, so that would be an unlawful arrest.
Under the Terrorism Act, I'm requiring your name and address because of your behaviour.
Terrorism
whilst filming
Act.
a police-
The situation keeps shifting as clear legal reasoning fades and assumptions take over. The man stands in a public place calmly explaining his right to film what he can see, but instead of addressing that, the focus turns to his behavior, labeling it as suspicious simply because he questions authority. When that argument weakens, it changes again to officer safety, suggesting filming police vehicles is a risk even though they're visible to the public every day. At this point, it's no longer about law. It's about control, as the justification keeps changing just to continue the interaction.
I've actually got written permission to sit here and do this.
Right, well, why didn't you tell us that? Can you see or show us that, please?
Where's your written permission? It's
That's not a public
police
place.
station. A police station's not a public place.
Well, it's still paid for by the public, isn't it?
It's not a public place though. Under the
Well, this
definition of
where
a
I am
public
is a public
Yeah,
place,
you're right there.
and I'm allowed to film anything I can see from a public place.
Within reason, but if your actions go beyond that and are suspicious...
Well, my actions aren't gone beyond that. I've told you
Yeah.
exactly what I'm doing. It's to finish off the end of my social experiment blog that I was making.
Well, you're still filming now, so it's...
I'm filming now for my own protection.
Protection from what?
From you. You're standing there threatening to arrest me under terrorism.
No, I'm asking for your
We
name
asked for
and
your
details.
Which I'm not obliged to give you unless I've been arrested for a crime.
I don't feel like we've given you any cause for concern about our behaviour.
Well, he's threatening to arrest me under the
He's
Terrorism
not
Act,
threatening
which
to
you couldn't
arrest
even
you.
quote to me.
He's not threatening
I'm not going to
arrest
quote
you.
every part of the law.
You're telling me,
I don't know
by me not giving you my
your work for
details,
that's not my job.
you told me me not giving you my details is an arrestable offence, which it isn't.
The tension builds as the officer hints at court and taking equipment, while the man calmly points out that any seizure would have to be justified legally. Calling it a stop and account after the fact doesn't fix anything, because that process is voluntary and doesn't give power to demand details. Then comes the key moment, a simple question: am I being detained? And the answer is no. That should have ended everything, because if you're not detained, you're free to leave. But as soon as he decides to walk away, the tone shifts again with warnings of arrest based on vague suspicion. That contradiction exposes the core issue: authority being used inconsistently, where the rules seem to change the moment control starts to slip.
I am perfectly entitled to sit here and film a police station from a public space. In fact, I can even give you the law on photography. There you go.
They said that you do not need a permit to film or
No,
photograph
I don't.
in a public place. It doesn't say anything about filming or taking photographs from a place that isn't public. Photography on private land is not restricted if the landowner has given permission.
I'm on public land.
Yeah, but what
But I
about
can still
the fact that you're
I
filming
can-
the police station, which is not
From your house.
That's not a house though, is it?
No, but it's not a public place.
Yeah, but if someone wants to stand outside my house in the public and film it, they're allowed to do that by law.
No.
There is no law
There'll
that's...
be-
No, there's no
there'll be
law...
laws against
No, there's not.
Right.
No, there's not.
After there's permission from one of the bosses in there.
I don't need permission to film the police station from a public
No, as I
space.
said, my suspicions are about your behaviour. It's all very strange.
What's suspicious about my behaviour? Do you think I'm a terrorist?
You're not talking to me
Have
normally.
I got any bombs in my
You're
bag?
quite defensive about the fact that
Yes, because you've come over here to stop
there's preparation.
me.
We asked you if you
You're
could
trying to
engage
stop
in
me from
conversation.
filming